the fact that I wanted a gravestone is quite a strange request to a man at a wedding. Welcome to the Hard Up Garage, where we've got stories about cars. Yes, that's right, car stories. So, all my life, I've kind of put things into perspective. You know, when you're going to live, when you're going to die, how much I should drink, what I shouldn't probably drink, and what I did drink. But in this stage, I was at a wedding, and I had a few too many lemonades. And, I mean, I don't mind weddings. But most weddings are where people go to show how big their balls are, really, don't they? Anything I can do, you can do better. I mean, like, most weddings are like, well, we should have a better band than that wedding because we've got more money, and we should have a better wedding car because, you know, whatever. It's just a, let's say, a male member size evaluating contest, shall we? And I was at a wedding, and I don't really mind weddings, but I have a few lemonades when I'm there. And I'm sat next to the guy next to me, and I'm like, what do you do? You know, I'm a car guy, so I start talking a bit too much about myself like I normally do. And then I remembered I should probably ask some questions about what he does, because that's a polite thing to do. Turns out this guy is a mason. I'm like, as in what, like sort of funky handshake kind of mason, or a mason? He said, no, I make engravings on like buildings and on gravestones. I'm like, oh, this is like the perfect opportunity, like this is meant to be. He said, someone up there put me next to you today to bore you with a story that I'm about to tell you, which you're about to tell me. And I started the story by telling him that I'm probably punching above my weight in relation to how attractive my female is compared to me. And you know, in life you meet people and you know when you're doing good, you know when your missus is hot, correct? And I know that because I'm a bit of a wally, at some point I'm going to kill myself, probably in the next 10 years. So I have life insurance to obviously take into account for that. And the fact that I wanted a gravestone is quite a strange request to a man at a wedding. And I said to him, he said, why do you want a gravestone? I said, I don't want any gravestone. I want to wait until you get someone famous. And then I want, on the rare opportunity that you make a mistake, I want to buy the gravestone. So you want a miswritten or incorrectly printed gravestone? Yes. He's like, done, no worries. So to my luck, he started writing Lord on a gravestone and started writing the first letter. But in McCormick, you have a large M, a little C, then a big C, I believe. And anyway, the fonts were incorrect. And in this weird case of arrangement, he put it in the corner and kind of forgot about our conversation. I saw him a couple of weeks later and I said, mate, when are you ever going to get me a bloody gravestone? And now he was like, oh, actually, I've got one for you. And I'm like, what do you mean? He said, well, this Lord McCormick or whatever, he says, I messed up the font of the first two letters and therefore it's sat in the corner gathering dust. And I said, well, there's two things we can do. He said, you can use the back side of the gravestone and we can just have the messed up bit on the back so you won't see it. I said, no. I want a big X through the Lord, and then I'm going to have Samuel Hard saving money 6 foot under. Because like even when I'm dead, I'm going to be saving money for my wife and kids. And my lovely lady said, why do you want a gravestone? I said, well, I think I'm quite an eccentric, lovely chap. I think I'm polite to my kids and my children and my lovely lady. And I think that it would be very, very important to ensure my legacy is fulfilled upon my departure. And my opinion is that when I'm dead, yeah, she's going to find a chap rather quickly because she's a good-looking lady. I mean, she's put together very well. And I thought, well, I need to make sure that when I'm dead, this new chap realises that he's never going to evaluate me as a human being because I'm a bit of an idiot and you ain't going to get close to this, are you? So I thought, even if I get cremated or whatever, I'm going to prepay for my gravestone to be in a churchyard somewhere, and it will have this engraving that's incorrect, and then Sam Hard Up Garage, saving money 6 foot under. And every year my little boys will want to go to that gravestone and remember me, right? And be like, that was my dad, he did this, he had Knight Rider, he had the Dodge Charger, he did this. And there'll be this guy there that has to drive my lovely lady to the gravestone every year. And for that one day of the year, he'll just remember that he's inferior to me. Or I hope so. He's probably a million times better and probably one of these other lovely chaps and one of my friends that I know. But yeah, and it gets better. The reason this story is relatable to cars is because as I was explaining to him how much is the gravestone, what do you want for it, that kind of stuff, he said, what do you do? And I said, well, I talk a lot of crap and people want to listen to it. And he said, right, but what do you actually do? I said, buy and sell cars. And it got to the point where his sister was after a very cheap car. And I said, well, I've got a Ford KA, and it's a bit of a heap. It's an 05, 2005 plate, done like 100,000 miles. And I want 600 quid for it. He said, well, I'll do you a deal. I'll polish and engrave and make this gravestone for you and store it for you until you're dead for free if you give my sister a car. So one of my favourite cars in existence is a car called the Ford KA, okay? And joking aside, it is one of the crappiest cars Ford have ever produced. It's small. It doesn't resemble any kind of 60s or 70s car like the new BMW Mini or the Fiat 500. But what it does do is it allows me to earn money through welding them up because they rot like a pear. So when I get them, most of the time I get them as being an MOT or an inspection failure through being highly corroded, you know. But KAs to me always remind me of this little car called Trevor that when I got with my lovely lady, she had this little blue Ford KA. And I used to love it a bit. So I used to jump in it, CD player, air conditioning, heated windscreen, all the toys. But it was a 1998 piece of crap KA. And I don't think it mattered that it was just a KA. It was the fact that I could jump in it, flick the heated leather seats on, let the snow melt off the windscreen, and just drive it like an absolute dickhead, right? And I drive it so hard that once a month I'd be replacing like tyres or brakes or steering apparatus or whatever because I drive it like an idiot. But the best thing was, because these cars rot so much, that you could repair them so cheaply. You know, you could buy a tyre for 20 quid. It's just nuts, you know. So although I have this love for KAs, I kind of always want to have one in stock because I love driving to work and back in them, you know. And for me to get rid of this KA and swap it for a gravestone, it feels like the most important thing in the world. I'm swapping something I love for something that, you know, everyone in the world hates. No one wants to be remembered as being, you know, a KA lover, do they? You know, but for me, I think it's a good trade. I'm gutted to see the KA go. I'm pretty sure we can drag a few more out of a few scrap yards here and there and move forward. I was sent pictures of the gravestone initially, and it was unengraved. And now I know that the Lord MCC has got a line through it, but he hasn't completely written what I want on the gravestone. I mean, I didn't kind of imagine I'd ever be in this position of designing my own gravestone at 32 years old, 32 days, 15 hours and 26 seconds. I didn't think there'd be a point of me designing my own gravestone. I haven't seen the gravestone since it's been, you know, discarded, shall we say. The man works for a Freemasonry company. His boss probably wouldn't be too happy that I've stolen someone else's gravestone. That sounds horrible, doesn't it? Stolen somebody's gravestone. Well, it hasn't been stolen. It was going to be discarded, and I swapped it for a car. But you know, the Lord MCC, I did see it when it was written on the gravestone, and now I believe it has a nice clean line all the way through it. So hopefully, by the time this YouTube video hits live, I'll be able to show you pictures of it in its current situation, its current state. So here's a little bit something special for you viewers at home. Okay, if this video gets to 100,000 views in the next 10 years. As of Monday the 13th of January 2020, yeah? Next 10 years, if this video gets to 100,000 views, yeah? On the 100,000th view, I will allow one of the people that comment on this video to have a word on my gravestone. So for the rest of my life, and for the entirety of probably the English, I don't know, history of the world, your name will be on the back of an English man's gravestone that has been misrepresented and re-engraved. How about that for a YouTube giveaway? Please go to our channel homepage and click on the playlist to watch more Hard Up Garage videos. If you like what we're doing, click on that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and you can also help us by leaving a comment and click the like button. Please share this episode on social media with your friends and family. But while you're there, why not follow us at Hard Up Garage on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. If you follow us on social media, you'll see when we've got brand new videos for you lovely people. And don't forget to visit hardupgarage.com, where you can get some background on what we do and buy some of our much loved merchandise. Goodbye from Sam from Hard Up Garage, and thank you for listening to my lovely car stories. Stories about cars.